and then this is just a combination of that. That's what this is. Put it into practice.
It wouldn't have worked if I didn't go to get you.
Stand up, drop something, pick it up. And have a long toe. You're going to be ready to take.
Right.
You're going to drop and pick it up. And then this is just a notice to correct positioning. And mark it up. If it's good, it's good. It validates. They know how to do it, and they support something. If it's incorrect, they can know how to repeat, practice, and redo. Okay.
And one thing I want to point out at some point is, on the back of the handout, confidence was a key word, but even in this last session, they were talking about things being a reflection tool. This is a good reflection tool for students. They said that the thing that they were doing in my last session, students develop confidence in
That goes right here.
Yeah, confidence.
Confidence.
Develop confidence, and it's a reflectional tool. Don't want to forget those.
And wait.
Reflectional tool, develop confidence.
Okay. There's just one other thing.
We're ready. We're good. We're
I
good.
also have the survey here. There are two questions. There are a couple of questions on the survey that if we want to address them.
Yeah, because then that's on the back.
Well, the ones that are on the back, I didn't star.
Okay.
It's just again for me and you.
Well, I pulled things out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But like,
We have it for
again,
reference.
that goes back to confidence, right? Just doing it, knowing, having some insight into how to do it, making them inclined to participate in it. Okay. All right.
Now we're ready.
Here we
Now
go.
we're ready.
Now we're ready.
Good morning.
Where are you sitting, girlfriend?
To attention here, and I want to welcome you to our 11 o'clock session. Our session's titled
That's
Analyzing
the mic.
Movement,
So you want to see
Seeing
that mic.
Beyond What the Naked Eye Can See.
Okay.
Now let me introduce you to our presenters who came to us from Penn State Hazleton. So, good for them. Glad they made it here. Karen Stoyanidis, instructor of Kinesiology. Kathy Maxwell, academic advisor and adjunct instructor of Kinesiology. And Jackie Ritzko, instructional designer. So please, let me turn it over to them and welcome them here.
Well, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you coming. And it's because of Jackie here that I'm standing in front of you today. My background, like I said, is kinesiology. I have a background in adaptive physical education, which is working with kids with disabilities. So if you have a problem with throwing a ball or something, I should be able to look at you and say, oh, you need to do this, this, and that. Well, I'm teaching the intro to kinesiology class, and I had a lot of students coming in my gym, and they weren't able to throw. They weren't able to catch. They weren't able to do the skills that made them successful for the future. So I know as a background, with my pedagogy background, I said, well, you know, if we videotape them, they can take a look at what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and now instead of me barking at them, you know, get your elbow guard, now they can actually see it for themselves. And there's technology out there that helps support that. So we're very fortunate on the Hazleton campus to have a technology grant. So I applied for the technology grant to get what's called Dartfish software. So is anybody familiar with Dartfish software?
Good. Yay. That's good. You'll learn something new regardless. Good.
I'm all excited about that then because I'm really nervous about my audience because I was like, I know how to talk to PE people, you know, and they get what I say. So if there's something that you don't understand, you know, please don't hesitate to let me know. This is a learning tool for you as well. And the more we talked about it, Jackie and I started talking, we can use this across the board in so many different areas. So my part is going to kind of talk about how my students are implementing Darkfish within my curriculum. And Jackie and Kathy here are going to talk about a little bit more, do a little bit more interaction, and see what you guys can do outside the classroom. So I said my background was adaptive physical education, but I'm so lucky and fortunate to be married to a biomechanist. So he's the one who went, you know, throughout all those years and got all the science part of it. He gets all that. I get what I see. So anyway, just to bring you up to speed here, a little history. I like history here, and my husband's Greek, so we have to bring in Aristotle. He's kind of one of the very first persons that have said, this is biomechanics and labeled it. And then as we go through the centuries, we have it on paper, and then we have it a little bit more, and then when the creation of the camera came around, wow, what an explosion of analyzing movement. So the creators that really documented this was Jules Mayer and Edward Maybridge. Everybody heard of them, right? And actually, Edward here, he studied movement with animals. So you've probably seen him. I had a clip on there that showed him doing, you know, looking at horses and how horses move and the mechanics of the horses and stuff. So because of those two individuals, they really progressed technology at a very rapid speed. So now we're at the point where we can take animated objects and create movement and see, okay, a male's gait is this gait, a female's gait is that gait, an animal's gait is that gait. And a gait meaning how you're walking, how you're moving through time and space. So now we can take all of this together and we can put it on a screen. We can make our animated movies. Everybody's seen the Pixar movies and our Disney movies, and that's 3D animation. And a biomechanist kind of had to start with that. A little bit more here. So what are we? We're a study of the human movement. We can improve performances. So that's kind of like my basic why I use Dartfish in my classroom. We can reduce injury, big time reduce injury. But saying that is we all have our own habits. And you guys please tell me you know Carl Lewis, the famous, oh thank you. I say that in my classes and they're like, who? Who's Carl Lewis? Well, he was a very famous track and field person. And he was winning all these medals with doing long jump. So the biomechanists, oh, we got to get the edge here. Let's videotape him, let's analyze him, let's see what's going on. He was biomechanically incorrect. Very incorrect. And we're like, okay, do we tell him to change or does he just keep, he just needs to keep going as what he's doing. But eventually we can predict if he's going to have an injury by doing it in that particular manner. So that's where we came, that's how it's progressing through. We can also do rehabilitation. So now you're coming back from an injury. What is the range of motion you can do? How can we get you to the range of motion that you want to do and be functional for a better quality of life? And then we have orthopedic surgeons that kind of take a look at biomechanics and the way we move. And as you can see, the foot on the left here, that is one that does not have an orthopedic pad underneath it. And then this one here, I don't know if you can see it really well, but there's a little orthopedic pad underneath, and it actually straightens out the alignment of the joints and the muscles. So just a little bit of background here. And to add that little bit more, anybody recognize that? That's the Blade Runner. And because of biomechanics and because of software like Dartfish, I'm pretty sure that Dartfish was the company that started looking at things for him. They were able to come up with carbon fiber blades for him to use, and now he's competing at the Olympics. Is that fair or unfair? That's another question that we have to ask our students if he should be competing or not. But biomechanics people got us there, and we're so excited that we have this kind of technology. So now, what about this technology? Why is it that I'm not able to see what a camera sees? Well, remember, just getting back to our physiology and anatomy here, our eye sees approximately 15 to 30 seconds per frame. So if I'm looking at an object, I can process 15 to 30 seconds. The camera, by the way, this is new information we just found out. MTI has a camera that can record 1/1,000,000th of a second in frame work. You're nodding your head yes. Have you heard about that? My husband was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was 1,000,000,000,000, but MIT has come up with that. So wow, way to capture movement in the smallest form. So anybody go to sporting events? Anybody yell at the screen, referee, he didn't call it, I saw it, I knew what was going on. Well, that's because our eye is seeing that 15 to 30, and the camera is seeing the 1,000,000,000th. But what Kathy sees and what I see is a totally different ball game. So that's what you got to give the referees a little bit of credit here, because sometimes they see what they see and they call what they call, and the camera's going to pick up something different. So don't throw tomatoes at them quite yet. It's just our anatomy that happens this way. So here now along comes Dartfish. I have a pretty basic Dartfish software program. I'm not using it for research. I'm not a researcher. I like to dabble in it a little bit, but you're not going to see me published anywhere. But I do love the technology, and I love to bring it into the classroom itself. And using the software, so far the testimony from the students is, wow, I didn't know I did that, and wow, you videotaped me. Oh, wow. So they're really excited about it, and I really enjoy the time that I can spend with them so they can improve their performance in class. So Dartfish is really a communication tool. It's a communication tool that they can use to improve their movement in my classroom. You can improve your movement in whatever activity you're doing, but that's basically the biggest thing. It's a communication tool. And now what we can also do is we can analyze a two-dimensional figure. Remember, two-dimensional is this way, three-dimensional is if I'm moving around like a baseball throw, okay? So we're looking at two-dimensional for my class. And it really helps out with the mechanics. I know because of my background, and every physical educator who has graduated should know biomechanics and the movement, that when I throw the ball, I'm going to step with opposition, I'm going to bring my arm back, and I'm going to throw it through. Well, if somebody taught you wrong, and you don't throw with opposition, and you're throwing like that, guess what? It's going to feel comfortable. And you say, throw the ball, and man, I'm throwing. I'm good at this throwing. But it might not necessarily be biomechanically correct. So now we can come in and we say, wait a second. Remember, we should be stepping with opposition. And what do you see on this video? Is that what you're doing? Key points. And then I can share it. I can share it with all my class. So this is just, I'm going to go through a couple examples of what I'm doing in my classroom right now. In my indoor team sport class, I have about 4 units that I do. Basketball, indoor soccer or futsal, ultimate Frisbee, I know that's an outdoor sport, but we play it inside, and volleyball. So the first one, this is a basketball player. So he's on the Hazleton basketball team. He was in my class, and he wanted to take a look at his jump shot. So this particular portion of Dartfish, it's a video, but I took frame by frame, took a picture of it, and I just kind of drew some angles here to say, okay, this is where your elbow is at and how your arm position is at the beginning of your jump shot, the middle, and then at the end. So I can take all of those angles and I can kind of progress through it and say, did you know this? And when you get to the level that he's at, it's that finite thing that can really make a difference. Just like our keynote speaker was talking about Serena Williams, how she's dominating, she's just dominator. Just that little edge, her knowing that a bigger racket or her racket that fits her is going to give her more power, that's what we're looking at, that's what we want. So here is a little videotape here. This is my ultimate Frisbee. This is Alyssa. See how elementary her movements are? So she came in after this and didn't circle it around here. Oops. One more time here. Okay, so that's her. And then the next slide, this is a more advanced player here. That's Ryan. Did you know there's professional ultimate Frisbee out there? Rocks. Anyway, so now I can help him and I can say, well, look, this is a slow motion video. I can slow it down even more and I can see, the flick of your wrist is this and you're using more stress on that. Did you know you dropped your shoulder down? You're really dropping your shoulder down and they might not know it. It's that person who's throwing the wrong way who says, this is comfortable, this is the right way for me, but if they switch it up, they can go farther faster. So moving on, this is a really exciting thing. So this is Ellen, and she's serving an overhand volleyball serve in the class. And anybody want to guess how fast that ball's going to go? How fast is her serve going to go? Just in your mind, kind of take a think what it is. So here she is. She played it in high school, and she's been away from volleyball for about a year now. So with the Dartfish software, I stopped it. This is the original volleyball. It's about 21 meters long, and then we took it through the process. So A is the beginning, and then here's the end result here. So the ball is traveling at 0.77 meters, and this time is at 0.50 per second. Now I can put that into our formula for speed, and I can calculate how fast is that ball coming over. I'm telling you, you're a target. If she's serving it, it's a target. So if anybody guessed, she's serving at 35 miles per hour. So that ball is coming back over the net, and it's smashing those students who did not have any volleyball at all. And anyway, she's an excellent server. This is very typical for a high school, her level, high school and college. So if they're good at the sport, they can send it over at 35 miles per hour. Yeah.
Quick question, your measurements here, and since I walked in late, I do apologize to everybody if you answered this. Is the software assisting you with the measurements?
Yes.
Okay.
I just have to come in, I have
You
to
have
plug
to
it.
calibrate
Yeah.
it somehow. Okay.
No, I don't. The system does it itself because I have the measurement of the ball.
That's what I mean. You have to have some frame of
Reference
reference
point.
and then you're
Yeah,
good. Okay.
I have to have a reference point to move on. Yeah, great question. And if anybody else has any more questions, just let me know because I don't mind. Okay? So we can use things like that. Where's the crossover? How many kids in physics love to come to physical education class because I'm doing the same thing over and over again? So I really wanted to bring technology in to help facilitate those people who love math, those people who really want to embrace those kind of things. I can give them a little taste of what they like and encourage them to be more successful in my, in my classroom itself. Okay, so this is the last one. This is just kind of like the fun mode. Once I do videotape them in each of the thing, I do a second videotape, and then I put a mode in here so they can see themselves kicking side by side. Did it go? No, that's not it. I just was not clicked it. This is actually one of their funner, that's a good word. They really enjoyed this part of it. He's got a great kick, same time, and so now he can kind of see, where he's doing, where his mistakes are from each of the two kicks, okay? Live action here. So how do I do this with my students? Basically, with about a 4-week unit there, that last day I videotaped them, and I sit down with them on the day they have their test on Angel, so I have plenty of time to sit down with them one-on-one, and I go through the Dartfish software. And we can actually do that with you as well, so that you guys can kind of take a look at how you're moving. And Jackie and Kathy are going to kind of do a little demo with you guys in order to do that. But I sit down with them one-on-one. I talk to them about how they can improve, in this particular sport, which one they, where they need to, their deficits are, so they can be more successful. Because the more successful they are, the more engaged they're going to be across the board with any kind of activity. And this actually can be used, can be downloaded for free for 1 month, and if they really wanted to get into it a little bit more, they can. We were really hoping that we could get a student who's doing research in animal movement to come in and present today, but he ran out of time. But one quick thing here is, this is what my rubric looks like that I use. It's 50 points. And they basically start off with your basic general introduction on this is the game of basketball, so my mind frame is on target. They talk about self-reflection, what their background is in that particular sport, so I know what I'm looking for when they come down to the analysis. I give them 2 points just for mentioning Dartfish. You mention it in the right content, bingo, you get 2 points there. Then I have them do a compare and contrast. So they have to go online, look at a professional. It's not somebody that I know. They have to make sure they tell me who it is so I can go in and make sure they're correct. And they can say, okay, Carl Lewis is doing this, I'm doing that. And they do a little comparing and contrasting for their paper. And then they come down here and they talk about, what are they going to do with the knowledge that they've gained? What did you gain from this, and what are you going to do with it? And then finally, in the conclusion area, it's just wrapping up the paper and giving testimony to Dartfish and saying, yeah, I like this, or no, I didn't like that. So that's kind of basically my proposal part here. Let's get it back up on PowerPoint. Come on. Whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Did I just exit out?
You
I
did. That's okay. You go back in.
It's right here.
Yep.
Any questions while I'm pulling this up real quick? The students have been really receptive to it, and I have to say that they've struggled in some capacities to write the paper. I'm going to be honest. Some of them are like, Mrs. But after they've completed it and they sit down with me one-on-one, that's when all the learning happens. Oh, and that's just the credits. And then at the very end, this particular laptop does have Dartfish in it, so we can kind of videotape you. I brought some of my sports, equipment. I have a baseball bat and a golf club and a volleyball and a basketball and a tennis racket. So if we have enough room in the room, you can come in and we'll videotape you doing one of those activities, and we'll see how you fare in the realm of Dartfish here. Okay, so take it away.
Okay, how many people are not involved with any sort of movement science or sports on an official basis? Anybody in here who's not? Good. So why are you here? What do you think you can do with something like Dartfish? Think outside of sports. Stevie, don't shake your head, because I am going to use Dartfish. I'm going to tape my knitting technique, and I'm going to send it to you, and you are going to tell me. Yes, so I'm thinking, I would love to be able to see my knitting and my technique, and how do I improve it? What are some ideas that you have of using a tool such as Dartfish and being able to video and then analyze your movement?
I think it would be useful for helping to prevent repetitive strain injury in a number of different.
Absolutely. Repetitive strain, trying to.
How many people here have carpal tunnel? Okay.
Because they knit the right way.
Just checking.
Right? Any other uses? Be creative. I don't want you to see what our students came up. We asked our students, because we took this a little outside of official kinesiology, took it a little bit differently. But we asked students, think outside of the box. Where do you see this fitting? And I'm going to show you their answers, which might surprise you. But do you have any other ideas? Yes.
I have one. I'm in physical therapy, and so what comes to my mind right away is looking at people maybe in their workplace, repetitive
Yes.
lifting, factory type work,
Yes.
or whatever, desk work,
Right.
I mean, anything, and just
Right.
seeing those kind of techniques, that might lead to injury.
Absolutely. So our students, not my student, my adopted students, Kathy's students, came up with these terms.
Okay, can I?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, kinesiology jumps out, sports jumps out, where's my physical therapy person?
Yes.
Okay, but there's some really like funky, weird ones that kids came up with that are super for using this for people who are not educators in the field of kinesiology. For example, let's pick this one. I had a laugh. Up here you see dancing, you see your right fingers, it says dancing. I was thinking, anybody watch Dancing with the Stars? And when that man, Bruno, says, well, the back was just bent a little too much to the left. I mean, could you see the videotaping that, doing a still shot, and then marking up that the back was a little bit bent? Wait, this is the left, bent to the left. Okay, see, that's why we need Dartfish. A couple others that I thought were really cool. Down over here, engineering, up there. I was talking to someone whose husband refinishes, redesigns trucks, semis, trucks, and specifically for Pepsi Cola. And the Pepsi drivers that have to pick up the big, yeah, you're looking at me, the Pepsi drivers have to pick up the crates of Pepsi and put them in. If they videotape this happening, they can see if the truck step was at the proper height, and if the person is using proper body mechanics as he is loading, because you see they have those big belts on, and back injuries are just for, everywhere. I'll do a couple more because I don't want to use up too much time. The really funky ones, though, and this is what I like. If you look up there, there's interviews, presentations. Think about it. Someone who's in the public eye. Let's look at politicians, public servants who are in the public eye, and they want to make the best impression possible. And they're making their presentation. They're being videotaped, and somebody who can't see at a trillionth of a second is saying, "Do you realize that every time you talk, your arm angles this way, or your head angles this way, or you're slouching?" So it could really be very beneficial in that respect. Students, people who are looking for jobs. What I do in one of my classes is I videotape students during a mock interview, and the whole class, I'm cruel, the whole class gets to critique their presentation. Can you see if we could mark up the annoying twitches and habits that make people look at them rather than listening to the words that they're saying? So there are many uses. I thought this was great. My kids came up with this. I thought this was great with uses for the general public, not just kinesiology instructors. Healthcare, the other one, I just want to say, like any kind of post-healthcare crisis, post-amputation. You had Oscar's picture up there, poor Oscar. You had his picture up there, but someone ambulating, learning gait training after they've had a stroke, absolutely a beneficial tool.
So Karen, the cost of the Dartfish that you use.
Yeah, just the basic is $750 for the basic use. If you want to get to more of the 3D stuff, you're looking at $1,200. You want to do like for research.
I have no problems putting out $750
Still want it?
to go and figure out how well I knit, right? $750 to improve my knitting, no problem. It is a problem. So, she's an expert in her field. I want to see how I can improve my knitting. She wants to help her students with mock interviews. A student sees this and wants to just go out and do something on their own. What do? They get the $4.99 app from Dartfish. And there are other similar. I don't want to be the marketing person for Dartfish because there are other tools like that. But for those of us who don't need to do the full, there are little pieces. So you might think, well, why can't I just not use, or can I just use my iPhone and just take a video? You can, but there are some nice little tools in the Darkfish app and other similar apps that allow you to stop, comment, angles, things of that nature, and then share very easily. So that's why, instead of just using a video, videotaping on your own without the tool, there are some perks to using the tool. So let's put this into practice. Before we talk about what we did with our students, let's put it into practice. Do you want to direct them?
Oh, sure, make me
You
the
could.
heavy.
You the
Everybody
heavy.
stand
She's
up.
got Everybody up.
Everybody up. We got, yeah, see those green cards in front of you?
Pick
I
up
want
your
you
green card. Do
to
you
pick
not
up
have
your
a
green
green card? Anybody need another green card because you already saved it, you're afraid of losing it?
and,
eBay.
All right.
we're ready? Everybody have something? If you don't have a green card, grab a pen or something. I want you to drop your card. Not in your coffee cup.
On the floor.
On the floor, yeah.
On the floor.
Yeah. And now I want you to pick it up.
Look at it.
Ah, okay, excellent. All right. Please be seated. I heard my students say something in class the other day that I just loved. I love to make up words. Karen, you made up a word. I don't know what it was, but it was cute. Funner, yeah, funner. We need a volunteer, and if someone doesn't volunteer, he or she will be voluntold. Huh? We got a volunteer. Okay,
there a
but I
volunteer?
got to say voluntold. That's a cool word. Come on up.
Let's see. Where am
Here?
I?
Oh, look at him.
He's perfect, yes. Go ahead. Do you have your card? Okay, get that card.
I didn't want to lose it.
Drop that. I'm gonna stand
What's your
over-
profession, sir? What do you do?
You should be
You're an engineer. Oh, did you see engineering up there? Did you?
Twice, engineers and
Keep looking
engineers.
that way.
Yeah.
Facing
Got it.
Kathy.
Okay, face. I'm Kathy. You can face me.
Okay.
Drop your card, please. Now pick it up. Oh, we got a ringer here.
All right.
All right,
So you have
very
just been
nice.
Taped in Dartfish. Taped, recorded. I don't know what the correct term is. I'm old. It's still videotaping. Sorry. Okay, so let's
How to
just
pick an
jump
engineer.
over. I'm going to connect up to my Darkfish app.
Well, while Jackie's connecting, I'm just gonna, can you, without saying anything in your mind, can you think of ways that engineering could use this tool?
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
human factors is a huge
Absolutely.
part of it.
But the engineers would like the fact that there's data and angles
Absolutely.
and numbers. They're not just gonna take Kathy and Jackie's word for it, that this stuff is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Push your fingers.
Yeah, this is where I pray. I do the technology prayer.
There you are.
Okay.
All right. So, here we have you.
What's your name, sir?
Phil.
Phil.
Phil, this will be on YouTube for the whole world to see. No. All right, so without going into all of the technical details of this, it's a $4.99 app. You know, it's a little pricey, $4.99 compared to $99, but it's not bad. As soon as my husband saw it, he's a golfer, he's like, I need to get that. So there's not much to learn it. You can get it, try it. We will be down with this and an iPod in the, what's it, the experience room? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
We will be in the experience room, and you can play with this on your own then. But we can just basically play it. Or I can stop as I'm going along and go backwards. Oh, wait, right there. I didn't like that part. So I can go back and forward. And then I see a spot that I really want to comment on, or I want to make note of. Do a picture of it. I get my drawing tools. I can pick my color of what I want, and I can pick very basic, not the level that Karen was using. All I can do here is measure some angles, and they're certainly not exact, but I can measure angles. I can use the circle tool, draw some arrows on it. The angle tool, I will tell you, I have a little bit of a hard time with the way that that's supposed to. I always do it the wrong way. I do it incorrectly, but there is an
Phil,
art to
how's
it.
your stance? Are you happy with what you're seeing?
So if I wanted to point out here that
I
this
didn't
is a
put too much
very
stress on
straight
my back.
line.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was going to say. And what we were looking for, and I did see, I saw a whole bunch of people did bending different ways. Anybody here have back problems? Know somebody who has a back problem? I mean, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere in the world, back problems. I saw people, and I said, if somebody, voluntold somebody and he or she comes up and picks it up correctly, cool. Validates that he's doing it correctly, supports that he's been instructed the correct way. If somebody does it incorrectly, cool, because it's a learning tool where you can see, what did I do? I can practice, redo it over again, and keep practicing. Pick the ringer. Phil's an engineer who has back problems, so obviously he knows how to bend. I mean, he bent on the one knee, and but I thought it's good because we're putting that nice straight line down his back. He's not putting any extra stress on his back. He bent with his knees and his hips, not his back. Is that what they told you to do in PT?
I also teach students judo in the Penn State Judo Club. So this is like more ringer than you thought.
Okay. Actually, we had dinner together. You put your weight on both balance weight equally on both feet. You spread your knees and your legs shoulder width apart. When you bent with one knee down. You did one thing you didn't do, and I would put a circle on it. You were so confident when you picked up your card, you went. To do it perfectly correct. You know, you bring it close to your body and bring it up because it's so bad.
Because it's so
And a few other logistics about the program itself, the app. As you take these little clips, you can take as many, you can stop at as many places as you want. You can stop as many places as you want, and you can comment on them, label them accordingly, which is what we had done in the class that Kathy will talk about. Dartfish, in order to share the Dartfish, the output of this app with others, I share it to a Darkfish TV channel. You can see some examples of our channel if you go to this website. It costs about $700 to get a channel. Hazleton is actually looking at getting a channel so that our students, if they use this, can upload things. There are similar tools at the app level that allow you to publish directly to YouTube if you want to share. Dartfish doesn't, it goes to Darkfish TV. And maybe I'll be able to go to Alan someday and say, let's get a university Dartfish channel.
I was gonna ask, what creates the boundaries between channels that are relevant across the university? Or for example, is there a FERPA restriction on using it for a particular class?
The same things that would pertain, in my mind, and I'm not an expert on this, we got permission from our students to use
So I was
these.
just going to say, it's a balance. If
Yes.
you go to YouTube, if you're popping stuff up on YouTube,
Yeah.
that's for the world. If I'm doing something in my class, that's not for the world. I give my students permission to do that. So that $700 may sound hefty when there are free options out there. But again, if it's a university-wide thing, you're doing it for Penn State,
And there's,
buy it for us. They
there's,
should buy it for us.
there's a channel administrator, without getting into all of the technicals, and I don't know all of the details. If we do purchase an institutional channel, there is a channel administrator, and accounts can be given out for uploading purposes, and then things can be set at private levels.
That's what I was
Yes,
getting at.
so,
You can
yes,
segregate
yes,
pieces
yes,
of that
yeah.
channel.
But again,
And what if-
we don't have that.
I was just going to say, there may be a way of monitoring it, because if it has the Penn State connection to it, you don't want kids out there putting stuff out there that
Right.
you don't want to be Penn State representative, right? Whereas if something's going directly to YouTube and they have their Penn State shirts on and they're doing stuff, that's a whole different
Right,
story.
so there are ways to go with this. Where that, I don't know where that will lead us yet. We are just experimenting with it locally. So,
But if enough people want it and the students like it and it's valuable.
so on the handout that we have, which is also on your, it will be on the link that the QR code will take you to. We'll distribute these on the way out. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have
yeah,
it.
we can give them beforehand, because you know what people do, they read it.
Yes.
And that doesn't know what I'm saying, you know.
So we're not going to read it to you now, but the front explains Kathy's class. She'll go into some details about that.
Yeah, we should tell them a bit about that.
Yep, go ahead.
No?
Yep,
Okay.
go ahead.
What we did was, the class that we used for our purposes, we called it the Dartfish Express Project, was Kinesiology 77, yoga class. And it's a real
Kinesiology
popular
3.
class, one of the first classes that fills out, everybody likes yoga, because it's new, it's different, a lot of people don't know how to do it. So what we did was, we didn't, got the students' permission to videotape them, that was the first, we're gonna video, is it okay if we videotape you? Of course, they said yes. So Jackie came into class and videotaped the students during a yoga session. Then Jack, and back me up if I miss a step, but then Jack took the videos and she marked them up. I reviewed them and I said, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. And then she marked them up as to proper postures, not proper angles. A posture in yoga is called an asana, and we looked at the asanas and made notes as to what was good, what wasn't so good, what could be improved. Then we had the students review that online. They actually went in and they studied the marked up videos online, and then came to the next class. After they had some instruction, they were able to look at what was good versus what needed to be improved. We're very careful with saying positive comments and constructive suggestions, you know. So anyway, then they came into class and we videotaped them again. And then you want to tell them what we did in the last class?
Yeah, in the last class, we brought them in and and they had to look at the original marked up one on their own prior to class. So after they did it, we had 8 different videos. We did students 3 at a time. We brought them in, and we showed everybody, and every person had to have a comment ready about themselves. What are they going to improve the next time? So we
What
kind
did they do well and what did they
right.
need to improve?
So and we let them do that in class. We had a few people come up and do markups on their own, and then the rest of the time I did the markup for them. We had put one of those examples out on the sample channel that I have. I don't have an official channel, so you'll be able to see that. And then we followed up with a survey.
Follow-up survey.
In Angel, and the back of the handout that you'll receive has some of the highlights from that survey. But one of the things that I want to point out about it in particular, most students said that, a few students actually said, I bought it already. We asked, would you buy this? And some said, I did buy it. Others said, it's too expensive. I would buy it if somebody gave it to me. And $4.99 expensive in the world of apps? Yes, it is expensive. So that was a consideration. But we asked, when did you think it would be beneficial to use something like this, before, during, or after the activity? So I've graphed that out for you. But I think the most important thing was the common theme in all of the responses that we got was students said by having this, it was making them confident. And I think if they're confident, they're going to do well. You mentioned the confidence level. It's a form of self-reflection that they're going to be able to get. And they truly, I mean, once they got past watching themselves and they were looking at it as a self-reflection tool, and I think there were, out of all of the responses, there were over 10 comments that said, I have more confidence in doing this now. So.
The exact question on the survey was, does having some insight into the correct way to do an activity that may be new to you make you more comfortable and therefore more inclined to participate in the performance of the activity? For example, yoga. We picked the yoga class because people like yoga, they see it, they think it's cool to move around, but a lot of people don't know how to do it properly until they go to a class. So it was new to most of the students. So we thought that was also a good thing because it was new, they had something to learn.
So with that, has anybody changed or come up with ideas on how you might now be able to use this? So we've talked about yoga, we've seen how we can use it for correctly picking things up, any idea, or knitting.
2 things. One, I thought of theater,
Oh, we never even thought of theater. Yes, wonderful.
and then the other thing I thought of is theater right in the teaching, because that there's actually teaching is a performance art, and so that
Absolutely.
we don't teach that part when we teach.
And there's an app too.
Education, instructional design.
Social design, okay.
There's an app too from Dartfish, and I didn't really talk about it because I haven't had a chance to play with it, and it's called EzTag. So you would videotape the class and you could tag the location of somebody. So if you wanted somebody to be more animated or something, easily, and that one's a free app that you can go on and you can program it to say, watch this, tag this, that. But I haven't had a chance to play with it at all.
I thought it would be cool, like a drill team, because when you look at anything that needs precision, like a drill team, or when cheerleaders do the pyramid, and is the pyramid off? Is that why the girl fell? Not only would it look prettier if it was correct, but it's less risk of getting injured. I thought they were kind of cool too, cool ideas. Yes?
There's a whole world of animals.
Ye-
horse
oh,
racing,
yes,
health
yeah.
and physiology.
Yes. If you go on to if you just go to dartfish.com and look at some of the work that there actually are some sample videos showing dog competitions. So they are using this in very many ways. So
Project manager in TLT.
child development and everything. So you're all coming up with better, not better, but different ideas than the students did. Yes, yes. Anything else?
And how many of you are parents and you tell your son or daughter to do something and they don't listen? But yet if the teacher tells them, you need to bring your arm farther back. This is what's happened to my kids. I tell them how to throw the ball right and they don't listen to me, the expert. But they'll go to school and they'll listen to the PE teacher that, they can connect to.
And they too are digital natives. If they can see it digitally, if you hear it on the internet, it's true, right?
Well, I think in that sense, that compare and contrast activity might be nice. Like, I can't teach my child anything. But I can say you want to be better at. Well, here's somebody who's demonstrated skill. Look at what they do. Videotape them. Look at what you're doing. So that might be nice that way too.
And some of the more professional basketball players that can get their self and they can do whatever they want to while they're in midair, it's just because of their physique, their body structure, their training. They've got explosive leg power that gets them up to that level so that they can do other parts. Their kinetic awareness is phenomenal. So that's where they're coming from. So if your son or daughter would like to be like that, they need to just know their environment, know their kinetic awareness, and just keep practicing and practicing, just like Serena Williams.
And you know, whenever you say something that you know is accurate, you know is true, you always have a response, a challenge to that. Like when Karen was talking about Oscar, the gentleman, the racer, the runner who uses poor body mechanics, but the perfect answer was looking at the risk for the potential for injury.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect answer.
And we're so, in high school and in college, we're still young. And we're still, our joints are really pliable, stuff like that. But as you know, gravity sets in eventually. And if you're continuously doing something and putting more stress and repetition on that particular joint or muscle, eventually you will have an injury, just like carpal tunnel. We don't see that until later on in life, unless you're doing repetitive stuff. You as the physical therapist, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, think about using in clinical, for students in labs, not kinesiology, but we have a physical therapy assistant program at Hazleton. We have a practical nursing programming. I mean, how many nurses go through their careers without suffering a back injury? Not too many, right? You know, nurses, they have bad backs. It's just the way it is. So to see that at the onset before it actually happens would be amazing. Anybody here a golfer? Anybody here an excellent? Excellent? Are you excellent? You think you could maybe like look at your swing and see if it could be a little better? Okay. Or
I'm a mediocre golfer.
anybody here a power walker? I was thinking power walking.
You're a runner.
Yeah, one of the things, I think you and I had an exchange, my name's Jeff Swain, leading up to the symposium, about amateur runners, and a lot of times, people, you know, like it's an avocation, it becomes a big part of your life, and
Hence you run in the snow and the cold.
yeah. But, you know, like 90% of us will have an injury, like a debilitating injury within 5 years, whether it be bursitis or a tear or something like that. And for $4.99, like looking at adults, you know, as avocations, then it's not as costly of an app, and, you know, it's something that's
And you
accessible.
can do it with your phone. Just
You can,
know,
right, there's,
on your
the
phone,
app
just
goes
take
right on
a
your phone.
little
And
clip, it's portable.
Anybody here go to the gym? Anybody do aerobics classes? Well,
I do Zumba, but I don't want to record it,
well,
please
or
no.
anybody, like when you're watching TV and the IT guy comes on in NCIS and they're doing all this stuff, you have to critique what they're doing in your mind. You have to. Okay. My background is in healthcare. I'm a nurse. And when I go to the gym, and with kinesiology and health education, when I go to the gym and I see people doing squats, and when they're doing squats and their knees are way out here and their ankles are way back here, it's like, I want to go up and tell them, no, you know. But I mean, just having this opportunity as a tool to see if you are doing squats the correct way, so you don't blow those knees out. No, I can see it's being used there.
Yes.
I just learned about a lot of the smart garments that are coming out.
Yeah.
And one of them is like a shirt that you wear that has sensors and that feeds it to your phone
Yes.
or an app or something like that. So I wondered how you thought those things might sort of fit in with the video idea, or maybe they serve another purpose.
Well, actually, I'm looking at the up band, because my birthday happens to be coming up, and my husband, I have nothing to do, I'm as the least physical person in the world. Zumba is a very stretch of my abilities, but I'm looking at that because this has really intrigued me into all of this. And you're looking at some things, well, more with,
There's a Feedbit for, I teach
Right.
the fitness walking class too,
Yep.
so there's a Feedbit out there that you can, it's really portable and easy to do. I'm just afraid it's gonna be too portable and the students will walk away with it and not go back.
So to wrap this up, we will be at 2:30. The three of us will be over in the experience room. Karen has the full version. We have two versions with the apps. I would say if you're at a campus or a department where you might be interested in what are we doing from a classroom perspective, let's talk about the full program. If you don't need to do brain surgery, but you just need to be able to put some peroxide and Band-Aids on something, then come and talk to us and we'll talk about the app version. So do you need to make the full thing or just the small part? So we have both. Yes. So we do have yoga mats over there. Karen has brought some things, and we will analyze or let you analyze whatever you want to look at. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you got what you wanted to out of this. Yes, put them back there. Oops. Thank you.